everyone. It's Lisa. How are you? Good afternoon. I thought I would come live for a little while today because I wanted to show you how to sage. We've talked a little bit about saging negative energy that's in your home. Saging when you feel like there's negative energy around you when you come home from work. Maybe you've been around somebody that's negative, etc. So I'm going to wait a few minutes and see if a few people come on. And then we'll take some time and we'll go through and I'll show you how to, I have a couple of different types of cleansing that you can use, Palo Santo, and I have some white sage here, and I want to go over it all with you and see so you know exactly how to use it. Okay, so if you're here, check in with me. Say hi to everybody. I'm hoping that you're here. I'm just turning off the sound on my phone so my phone doesn't ring. Meant to do that before I got on here, but I didn't. So I want to turn that off, and then maybe at the end, depending on how many people here, we'll do some Reiki as well, which will be nice. I'm going to light my candles, get started while we're waiting. If you're here, make sure you say hi so I know you're here. I see there's a few people on already, and please share this out to your friends so they will also learn how to sage and cleanse their home of any negative energies. We'll talk a little bit about it. And then we can also do some readings today. I thought a lot of you have been sending me questions about what's happening with the election, what's happening with who's running, what's happening with Trump, with Biden, etc. And I thought maybe we could take some time and pull a few cards. If you guys had some questions you wanted to pose to me. But first, I do want to do the cleansing to show you how to do that. How to do it properly, okay? And how to get the energy so it's nice and pure in your home. Hi, Lynn. Lynn, you'd probably enjoy this. I think we've talked about how to do this, but I'm going to go through it again in a little bit on how to properly cleanse your home with either Palo Santo with red sage so that you're getting rid of any negative energy that's around. I don't work with entities, so this won't work really well for negative entities. There are some people that work specifically with entities that I would look up if that's what you're interested in doing. But this is for energy. For example, like when I got divorced, I felt like my husband's energy, whenever he would come pick up the kids, was very negative. And so whenever he would leave, I would cleanse the house with sage to make sure the energy didn't stay around or get stuck to me. So I wasn't stuck with it all day. So I am going to talk about, I'm going to wait and see if a few more people come on. How are you today, Lynn? Did you ride McGregor? I see someone else is here. Poke your head in and say hi if you're here. You're okay, did not ride. Okay. Okay, all right. That doesn't sound great, but hopefully every day gets a little bit better and better. That's what I keep saying. Lynn, have we ever gone over how to sage before to get rid of negative energy? Have you ever learned that from me before? Hi, JK. Hi, Joyce. Nice to have you in here. Yeah, I'm on. I'm going to talk about saging today, getting rid of negative energy in your home. I'm going to show you the different types and how to do it. And then in between, we can also talk about any questions you guys might have. I've been getting a lot of emails and questions about the election, about Trump, about Biden, about Barr, about the Supreme Court justice, just so many different people that I thought I would pull a few cards on everything that you guys had questions while I'm live today. Interesting color on the screen today. Maybe it's a combination because it's almost sunset. I don't know. How are you, Joyce? Lynn? Hope so. Been busy. Estate things. We've gone over using Palo Santo. Need a refresher. Okay, good. No, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to go over that with you. And that's what we're going to do today, because I've been talking about doing it for a week and I haven't had the chance, and I want to get a few more people on here if we can. It might be a bad time of day, but I will put it up. Saging, I knew what you meant. I will put it up as a live stream, and then people can go back and look at it afterwards. But you also, when you're here, we can also pull a couple of cards, okay? And answer any questions you might have, etc. Glad to have you here. Joyce, how are you? The delay is always wonderful. I'm going to wait a few more minutes, and if it might be a bad time of day. People might just be getting home from work, getting out of work. I thought I would give it a try. I'm trying all different times of day. I've tried the morning. Good. I'm good. Thank you, Joyce. I've tried the morning. The evening seems to work the best. And usually after dinner, unfortunately, I take evening appointments, so sometimes I can't always come on live after dinner. But I'm trying to find the best time that works for the most people. So we'll give it another 2 minutes, and then we'll get started. How's that sound? Do you guys have any questions while we're waiting for other people to come on? Can you guys share this out to some of your friends on Facebook, so maybe they know that we're live? That would be great. If you like the video, don't forget thumbs up. And down below is, if you wish to donate, you can always donate to Donations of Love to help me continue to keep my stream going, my video stream going, which I love to do. For Lynn, who's known me forever, and Joyce, a new friend. So I'm happy to have you guys here. And there's also my website listed below where you can set up a private personal reading if you'd like. Questions, you guys? Lynn, Joyce? Any questions? I thought I would do the questions first in case people come on a little bit. Hi, Lee. Hi, Dawn. I'm going to talk about saging in a little bit with Palo Santo or with white sage so that people can learn how to do it. But I thought first I've been getting so many emails from people talking about different things with the election. And I'm trying to stay right in the middle. I'm not trying to, make any predictions or anything. I know. I'm so glad, Joyce. I'm glad you enjoyed your reading, hon. Thank you. Thanks for spreading the word. And Dawn, so I thought I would put it out there that if anybody has any questions about the election, about Trump, about Biden, about Barr, about the stimulus, about anything, that we could pull a few cards on anything as well. And then when we have a few more people on, we'll start the lesson on saging. And Joyce, you're already on here as a subscriber, right? I see 4 people, so I'm waiting for somebody else to say hi. Do you guys have any questions? Because so many people have been emailing me and texting me, asking me what's happening, asking what's happening with the election or what's going on with Trump. Is he still ill? Etc. Speaking of saging, I need to do my house. Oh, yeah. Do you have some sage, Dawn? I gave away a whole bunch at the end because I had so much extra. Yeah, I try to sage once a week, and I try to sage my bedroom like every other day, because I find when I sage my bedroom, I sleep really, really well. The energy, it just changes the energy of the whole house. Well, no questions, so let's get started with a little bit on how to sage. I brought 2 different kinds of sage today. The first is Palo Santo. You use frankincense, myrrh, salt, and mugwort. And a lot of people use that. That's awesome. I'm using the real basics here for people today, but that's definitely one way to frankincense and myrrh as an oil. Also, a lot of people have it going in like a steamer or one of those. I forget what they're called. You know what I'm talking about? We had one at Northern Lights where it comes out of the top, not a steamer. Anyway, frankincense and myrrh is great for that, and it also is really good for clearing your head. A charcoal burner? Yeah, it wasn't a charcoal burner. It was where you put the oils and the water in it, and the steam would come out of the top. I forget what it was called. But anyway, this is what the Palo Santo looks like. Palo Santo is something you can use. It has a much more distinctive smell. The diffuser, thank you, Dawn. You can go online and just order it, Palosanto. Some people like the smell. Some people find it to be a little bit heavy. I tend to not use it around the house because too much of it and I get a headache, but a lot of people love the smell of it. It is Native American, and it says right here, it talks about burning instructions and how to use it, and to how to call in your higher and best self, which is what we do definitely. And it says Palo Santo is an enchanting tree that grows on the coastal areas of South America. It's related to myrrh. There you go. I didn't know that. And frankincense. So Dawn, it is related to myrrh and frankincense. It has some in it. It literally means holy wood. So shamans and healers often use it. It's a very enriching aroma. I would have to say that's a good way to put it, because it's a much heavier aroma than I'm going to show you with the regular sage. And some, like I said, some people don't like it, but you can order it right online. It's not very expensive. A box like this might cost you like $12, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sticks in this box. And really, I'll show you how we're going to light it and how you burn it. I always start, I get some kind of a container. I happen to like the abalone shell just because it has some holes in the side of it, if you can see right here. And so when I'm burning the sage, if I put the sage down, it does come out not only through the top, but it comes out from the bottom. It is an interesting aroma, Dawn. I think it's a holy tree. It is. You know, see, I don't find it sweet smelling. I find it to be very aromatic, Dawn, but I don't find it to be sweet. I feel like it's a very heavy smell. And the other way is I'm going to show you is white sage, which you can get online also. You can also use lemongrass. Like Dawn said, you can use frankincense and myrrh or mugwort. This particular one that I ordered had dried rose leaves in it, if you can see. And I like that smell when I'm burning it. The rose with the sage smells really nice. And you find it at TJ Maxx. Yeah, you can find it in so many places, Joyce. You're right. And I think so many people are interested in it now that it's found just about everywhere. I know in Whole Food stores, in health food stores, they sell it. It's in a lot of places. So I like to use, like I said, I tend to, whatever I'm going to burn, I happen to have a piece of Palo Santo in here that I was burning, but I was going to show you the new one all lit. But I tend to put it in abalone shell because it has the holes where it can diffuse the, you want it, when you first sage your home, you want to do it the entire home. And then from time to time, if I'm doing some psychic work, if I'm doing a reading, Joyce, like when I did a reading the other day for you, I'll have it burning because psychically it helps clear the energy around me and makes for really a really nice white light psychic energy. And I really like that. So I tend to use it in my readings as well. And that's when I light it and I leave it in this abalone dish, which you could also buy online. If you go to a sage kit, you Google sage kit, it'll have an abalone shell and it'll have white sage or some other kind that you can use. But I have to tell you that my way of doing it, everyone does it a little bit differently. What you want to do first is you want to cleanse out all the negative energy. Okay. And so you always want to have a door or a window open when you do that. So I'm going to light the Palo Santo so you'll see how it burns. And really, you just hold the Palo Santo right to the flame. It's a wood, so it's going to catch on fire. And I let it burn for a little bit because you really want to, you see the flame that's coming from it, and you see a little bit of the smoke start to come. So I let it burn for a little bit. And then once I feel like it's got a really good burn going and I can see where the top has some embers, you can see, well, it's really hard to see online, but it has some embers where it looks like it's going to stay burning for a little bit. Then I blow out the flame and you can see the smoke is still really coming from it. So I like to use Palo Santo when I'm doing the cleansing part, and then when I do the blessing part, I use the sage. But everyone has their own way. Some people don't like the smell, like I said, of Palo Santo, or so they use lemongrass, which comes in bundles for saging, or they use the white sage, and this, like I said, happens to have the rose that's attached to it. So what you want to do is you want to open a window or a door, okay? And you always want to start on the right wall. And from your front door, you want to go along the right wall of the entire house. So basically the windows open on either end. I should have said on either end. So if I have a window open on one end, I'm going to have it on the other so that the cross breeze or the smoke itself while you're cleansing, and this is still burning. You can barely see it, but it is still got the smoke coming from it. And if it goes out, you just light it again. Because sometimes as you're wandering around, I tend to wander while I'm holding the dish, because as pieces of it fall off, I don't want the pieces to land on my furniture or on the floor. So I have a door open on either side, so there's a nice cross breeze. I follow the right wall when I'm emptying the house of any negative energies. Follow the right wall and walk all the way around the whole house, following the white wall. So I do the whole first floor, even the bathroom. I go in the closets, always right wall. Okay, up the stairs, right wall up the stairs. And then each room, I'm always upstairs rooms, the bedrooms, right wall all the way around. And you may want, if the small, like this is going out, so I'm going to light it again. You may want to open a window upstairs so the energy goes out, the negative energy goes outside as well. Okay. I'm lighting it again because it will go out. I know that looks so much bigger, but it's really not. Okay. So there it's really going again. So again, following around the white wall. And when I'm following all the way around the white wall and in all the closets and the bathrooms, etc., and the bedrooms, and as I'm doing that and I'm letting this smell, I tend to say something. I usually call on Archangel Michael to help me. Some people use other angels. It's whoever you feel comfortable with. But I usually just ask Archangel Michael to be with me as I cleanse this home and empty it all its negative energies. And then I'm going to leave only positive white light energy for my highest and best. So again, all the way around the whole place, right wall. And now what you're doing is you've got all the negative energy going out, all the open windows and doors, right? So pick a nice day to do this on, because you don't want to freeze yourself out, that's for sure. But it's still going. Can you see it? It's still smoking. There you go. And it's a real pungent smell. The Palo Santo I like because it's a little bit stronger than the sage. So I feel like when I'm clearing out the negative energy, I like to have the stronger smell than I do when I'm wanting to leave the energy in the home afterwards. So once I've done the entire right side of every single wall in my whole place where I live, I put this down. I leave it in the shell so it may still burn. I close the doors, okay? I give it about 10 minutes after I'm done burning and after I've said my prayer to whoever I'm saying it to. And it can be as simple as just help me cleanse. It doesn't have to be anything special. It's what you feel comfortable with. There is no right or wrong way, okay? I'm just showing you the best way to eliminate the negative energies and then bring in the positive energies. Dawn, do you do the same thing with the right wall? And then now we're going to do the left wall? Or do you leave it in the middle of some people light it and leave it right in the middle of the room and have a door open on either end, and it kind of diffuses itself out into the room. They don't walk around with it. I've always done it the Native American way um, when I go to people's homes and I do blessings and cleansing in their homes, that's the way I do it. Is I always do the whole entire right wall as I go around, and I keep calling on Archangel Michael or whoever you feel comfortable with to surround you in white light energy, and that you're clearing out all the negative energies. Energies. Remember, I'm not saying entities, I'm saying energies. Clearing out all the negative energies that might be in the home or in the room. Maybe somebody came in and you didn't like their energy and they just happen to sit in your living room. You don't necessarily have to cleanse the whole house. You can just cleanse the living room, have this around. I always laugh because people come to see me and I have these in a number of different rooms. And you know, the sage especially smells just like pot when you burn it. And the people are always looking at this like, okay, you know, how old are you? What are you burning? But I like the smell of it. And so that's why I use the white sage. Dawn, how do you sage? Let me finish actually talking about, so now the doors are closed, right? We've just removed all the entities. I just said that by mistake. All the energies that are negative. Now we're lighting the white sage. Okay. And white sage is usually in a bundle. It usually comes tied in a bundle and you're lighting just one end of it. And you can see it smoking. Okay. You can blow on it to really get it going good. Now I start, the doors are and the windows are closed. And what I'm going to be doing with this is actually blessing. So I'm no longer cleansing. I've already cleansed with the Palo Santo. I've already cleansed out the negative energy. So now I'm going to put in some positive energy. So right at the beginning, I ask Archangel Michael to bless this sage and to help me to bless this home and cleanse this home. I start now at the front door again. Doors and windows are all closed. Start at the door, and now I'm doing the left. So I'm going to go right at my front door. There's a little half bathroom, so I'm going to go in the left, and I'm going to go all the way around the left wall of every single room that's on the first floor, all the left wall. So the right was to remove. Just think remove. The left is to leave. Okay, so that's a good way to remember. You want to leave this positive white light energy, okay? And like I said, it comes tied in a bundle. It tends to get kind of loose as you're using it more and more. I buy the one that has rose petals on it because I like the combination smell of the white sage and the rose petals. So I'm going around the entire left wall now, all the way around the left of every single room. Going up the stairs, I'm going up and putting the energy and the smoke and my prayers on the left-hand side. Each side, the windows should be closed now upstairs, and you're leaving this energy and this smoke on the left side. And it's a much different smell. Like I said, this kind of reminds me of the smell of pot, if I had to describe it. Dawn, are you still here? And just blow on it again, or you can light it if it starts to go out, which it does. Now, I find that when it really smokes a lot, that usually means that's an area that has a lot of negative energy in it with the Palo Santo. And now I've lit this, so this should come through as pure white light, which is what it's doing if I've cleansed correctly. And it's the whole left side, all the way down, even into the basement, the closets. If you have a garage, do the garage. I even sage my car, okay? I don't use the Palo Santo in my car. I use only the white sage. I just go where it guides me. Okay, and you go clockwise. Sure, and it's really, I just happen to use the shamanistic way, and which is, you know, doing the right side first to cleanse out the negative energy, and then the right wall to leave in, because this is the smell you're leaving in, and you're leaving this. Now, you want to make sure you're not doing it so much that your smoke detectors go off, because I have made that mistake, and it's not pleasant. You have to open all the doors, and, you know, then you've kind of ruined the whole objectivity. So once you've all done and you've put all that wonderful energy, and you can even say Archangel Michael or whoever you want to use as an archangel to be around you, please guide me, and leaving this wonderful sage and all the areas that will bring white light energy for my highest and best, or for my family's highest and best. Open lots of doors and windows. That's exactly what I said. So the area completely clears. We talked about that, Dawn, especially when you're using I use the Palo Santo on the right-hand side to release and let go, right? And then I have a door open on either side and windows and so forth. And then it's letting all the negative energy out. And then I close them and I use the sage. This is the Native American way. The sage on the left side, because you're going to leave that in. And you've closed all the doors so the energy is inside with this. You may have to light it again. You never want to put this out by putting it under water, okay? Because that breaks the essence of the fragrance. So if it's starting to go down, what you can do is put it out like you would do a cigar if you wanted to, or a cigarette or whatever, in the abalone shell, if you want to do that, or just have it near you and watch it and let it burn out. Or you can also leave it, and like I said, the smoke starts to come through the holes, which it's doing now. Lynn, did you want to leave a message? It's very easy to do, and I love the smell of it, and most people like the smell of it. If this is too heavy a smell for you, they have lemongrass. They have lots of other ways you can also cleanse the house. I just happen to use the Palo Santo, which, like I said, comes in packages like this, or I use that to actually cleanse, and then I use the white sage mixed with mountain sage, and sometimes it's got some juniper in it, and so forth. Then it's wrapped. They're really very tiny leaves. Can you see what they look like when you take them apart? Little tiny leaves that are put together on this. And you could take them apart, the leaves themselves, and burn the leaves if you wanted to. Right. That's why I have the roses on here. They are the highest vibration. She's right. So they're great for the positive energy. And that's why this is what I use on the white sage with the roses to leave inside, right? The left side, because I'm leaving it. So I'm going all the way around all the left walls and leaving the white sage with the rose petals, because the vibration is higher. Thank you for mentioning that, Dawn. I forgot to mention that. So this is what it looks like. It's little pieces, and you can actually fill. I have in a couple of rooms where I do my meditation. I have the abalone shell that I break apart the little leaves, and I put the little leaves in here, and then I just light the leaves on fire so that this is smoking while I'm doing my meditation. I'm not cleansing. The whole purpose is just to bringing this psychic energy in to raise the vibration, like Dawn said. So when I'm meditating or when I'm doing a reading, I'm raising the vibration. So I'm lighting it and kind of letting it burn, sitting it like this in the middle of a room or in a room, so that I know that the energy is being cleansed and that it's of highest vibration, okay? So it's really pretty easy. There's no special trick. You can't do it wrong. You just really want to make sure that you're leaving a door open on either side or windows open in the rooms when you are first cleansing, because you want all the negative energy that you're cleansing to leave the house, right? To go out the windows and the doors. Then you close the windows and the doors, and then you use something like white sage or with the roses, because of the high vibration, to actually leave in the house. Lynn says, I usually chant, only of the white light may dwell in this house, which is perfect. You're going to find out exactly what it is you want to say, and that's beautiful. I usually say, Archangel Michael, please help me in spreading this sage to raise the vibration in my home, help keep me safe, or if my family happens to be staying here, help keep my family safe, and for our highest and best good, only in the white light energy. So it's the same kind of thing. You say, only in white light may dwell in this house, which is great. I really like that way of saying it, Lynn. That's beautiful. Dawn, do you have anything that you say particularly when you do this? No, this is out. Remember, you don't want to wet it to put it out, okay? Because that dampens it and doesn't allow the natural aroma to come through. And you'll notice that when you try to do it again, it will light, because you probably won't use it as often. So it will light again when it's sitting here in this shell. but it doesn't have the same, they say it, when you put it out with water, it should be put out naturally. So either allowing it to burn out on its own is okay, or you can stamp it out. But either way, it works very well. Dawn says, I use rose water and holy water and ring a bell in each room. There you go. And I have a drum that I use. I mean, there's a whole ceremony that I go to people's homes and I cleanse their home. But just to do for yourself on a daily basis or a weekly basis, this is the best way to do it for your own home. Just you alone living in the home, or you and your family living in the home. But Dawn has, she does house cleansings as well. So she uses rose water, holy water, and rings a bell. I happen to use a drum when I go from room to room. So after I've done the entire release of the white light negative energy and everything's gone outside, I drum to make sure that all the energy has woken up, all the negative energy, all the negative spirit energy, okay? And then make sure it's all outside before I close all the doors, and I do it on the left side with the white sage and the roses to raise the vibration and to cleanse the house. And then your house smells, and you get so used to the smell after a while. I've done it for so many years that it actually smells really nice. It just smells clean to me. It has a really nice clean smell. So in the beginning, it may feel a little overwhelming or may smell a little overwhelming, but by the time you're done and you get used to it after a while, you can buy sticks that are really, really big that you can use forever. I happen to buy the smaller sticks, and like I said, I buy the packages of Palo Santo. I go online, and if you can buy it anywhere, or you can go right online at Amazon, they have it, or you can just plug it in Google and you can order it anywhere. I would say for a box like this, you're not going to pay more. Well, this has the price on it. I think it was like $11.99 for 9 sticks. And something like this, you can probably get 4 or 5 sticks for like $15 or $14.99 or something like that. With the roses, it's more expensive because, as Dawn mentioned, it's a higher vibration. So the people that tend to get it with the rose on it, the rose petals, maybe charging and doing it as part of their living to go into people's homes and actually cleanse people's homes. And that itself, when I have the drum and I use the drum in the negative clear. That's what I said before I go into the positive. Absolutely. And that way you're waking up the spirit energy to make sure that it all goes out the doors when all the doors and windows are open. Yep. We're saying the same thing, Dawn. I think you're just saying it after me. So, but I use the drum at the same time. Sometimes I use a rattle. If it's a house I know that these people have had relatives over, or I've had friends over, they feel are very, very negative and they're really concerned about the energy. I sometimes can use music, or I can put on a very healing energy music. Yes, the bell for the positive. I don't use a bell, but some people do. So Dawn uses the bell for the positive energy. I tend to use the roses for the positive energy, as well as the mantra or whatever it is I'm saying when I'm doing it. But keeping it basic for everybody that's never done it before, you want to always, like I said, open doors and windows on either side. And you can use the same sage to cleanse, as well as to leave positive energy behind. You don't necessarily have to use the Palo Santo. I just find it's a little stronger, and for me it works a little bit better. And I happen to like the combination of smells. It's different if you're having a true Native American ceremony, which takes a couple of hours. Whereas something like this, if you're going around the house on the right side to release all the energy, right, to release all the negative energy and have the doors and windows open, and then the left to leave in the house the energies. That should be a 15 or 20 minute kind of ceremony. Oh, don't be sorry. I'm glad. I think we're saying the same thing. I think we're just saying it after each other. So I appreciate the feedback, because everybody does it differently. And Lynn, like you've mentioned, you usually chant only of white light may dwell in this house, which is awesome, because there's no right or wrong thing you can say. It's all the intention that you're putting behind it, right? It's the same kind of thing when we're manifesting. There's no right or wrong. People often ask me what it is I should say when I'm trying to manifest at the full moon, because we're letting go of negative energy, right? And we're bringing in positive energy. But there is no right or wrong. You don't have to worry about that. It's something that you feel comfortable with. that you find what feels comfortable for you. And even one particular room, if somebody's been sleeping in that room and you don't like their energy, you may stay in there twice as long as you do other rooms. You just follow your own gut feeling. I think that's the whole point behind saging. That's what I find anyway. Hi, Angelita. Lisa, I just found you today and late to this video, and the information is excellent. Oh, I'm so happy. I hope you listened from the beginning, because we talked all about how to sage your home. And I'm glad you found me. Subscribe down below and hit the notification button or the bell, and then you'll be notified whenever I come on live to do things like this, or I'm going to do some readings after we're done talking about this. So I hope you stay around for a while. So glad to have you here. Welcome to our community. So everybody's a little bit different. Dawn, you mentioned the way she does it. And you know, like I said, I do a much different ceremony if I'm going to someone's home and I'm doing it as part of my service, you know, and I'm actually charging them to cleanse their home or bless their home. I use a whole Native American ceremony, which may take upwards of 2 hours, and I do the whole outside, and I surround the outside with salt. There's a lot of things that I do, but it's very different than if I'm just, you know, quickly cleansing and blessing my own home. You know, because I'm doing that 3 or 4 times a week, so I'm not going to do a full ceremony. I just really want the energy of the intention I'm putting out there. Like Lynn, what you said exactly, the energy of the intention, as well as the energy from the sage that you're using, whoever you choose. Basic clearing is sage and Palo Santo, and anyone can do it. That's right. You don't need the special bells and whistles. And I think that's what I was trying to teach today, Dawn. So thanks for bringing that up, because I want everybody to know that it's not a deep, dark secret. It's not something that you can't do on your own. The basic clearing of a home is really just getting rid of energies. You know, sometimes people come into our home and it's kind of like how we protect ourselves every day, or should be surrounding ourselves in white light energy every day to protect ourselves from any negative energy that's out there, so that it doesn't cling to our aura, right? We don't want it to cling to us, because that makes us feel very anxious and overwhelmed by the end of the day. So surrounding yourself in white light energy, and just that, you know, putting, I don't know, Dawn, if you do this, or Lynn, if you do this either, or Angelita, maybe you do as well. But putting that white light energy around yourself, I do it every morning. And it doesn't mean that people can't come into my space. It just means if they do come in and talk to me and they're in my space, they're not going to leave their negativity with me. I'm blocked or I'm protected by this white light energy. And that's kind of what you're doing in your home as well, is you're clearing out any negative energy that's been brought in. You're now leaving positive white light energy in the home, like what Lynn had mentioned. She chants, "Only of white light may dwell in this house," which is beautiful. She found something that works wonderfully for her, and that's perfect. You'll find what works for you. Like I said, there's no right or wrong, and it's very basic and it's very easy. So I did want to come on, because I've been promising for a week or two that I would come on and do that. So I hope you guys all have a chance to go back to the beginning, and have a chance to listen to it a little bit better, to make sure you're clear on everything. Lynn says, I use salt at the door. Perfect. Thresholds on New Year's Eve as part of blessing for my house for the new year. See, that's a beautiful. It's intention, right, Lynn? You're setting the intention, and that works for you. So that's lovely. They say, I mean, if you really want to go another step on New Year's Eve, or to bring in the new year, they say under your mat at your front door, you should always put like a $20 bill that's upright, so that anybody who walks over that mat should be bringing money in. That's a feng shui trick. So under my front door, I have a $20 bill that is always there. I mean, I forget that it's there, because we just walk over it every day. And it's supposed to mean that anybody who comes in isn't taking money out or asking to borrow money, but they're bringing money into you. So it's a little feng shui trick. I did it at my business as well. Lynn or Dawn, Angelita, do you have anything you wanted to add to what we've talked about, or how to cleanse, how to leave positive energy in your home by using the Palo Santo and the white sage? And like I said, you may find, you like that, Lynn, it's really cool. It's a nice idea. You may find, like I said, you don't like either one of these, the Palo Santo or the white sage. You may find you want to use lemongrass, or like Dawn says, she uses frankincense and myrrh and burns that, and then some rose water or some holy water. There are so many ceremonies that you can find if you Google online. You just want to make sure that it's a white light, positive white light ceremony, and find something that you feel comfortable with. Or you can make it up. Like I said, there's no right or wrong, okay? And that's important for you to remember. Okay, any questions about what we did or how we did it? Are you guys all ready to order your shell or whatever it is you want to keep your Palo Santo and your sage or your lemongrass in? Lemongrass, of course, is a sweeter smell, a much sweeter smell. It comes in like a braid. It looks like it's been braided, and it's about this long. And when you burn it, it smells lemony, but it's doing the same cleansing. It's just there are many, many different forms of sage that you can get, depending on the smell you like. And you probably won't know till you get started, until you pick one and you try it and see if you like it. And eventually, like I said, I don't use the Palo Santo that often, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. No one's been in my home. I use it only, every couple of weeks, but because I'm not crazy about the Palo Santo smell. You got it. A cleansing like we do in depth and a bit more complex. Yeah, if we're a light worker and we're doing that and we're getting paid as a service to come in and cleanse someone's home for a couple of hours, it's much more in depth and a lot more complicated. The white light protection is important when doing the cleansing. These types of clearings often come along with psychic info. And yeah, I don't tend to worry, or I don't go to homes when people say they have entities. Oh, that's great, Angelita. Make sure, like I said, make sure that you subscribe down below and you hit the notification bell. Okay, Angelita? So that way you'll know whenever I come on, because every day I do readings, tarot readings. I'm going to pull a few cards now. And I do that for daily, weekly, and monthly for every sign. And I also come on a few times a week to talk about things like this, or to talk about, maybe do some readings. Also, I do some mediumship. So I bring people through who have crossed over to bring messages through for their loved ones. So if you've got a notification bell, you'll be notified when I come live. Lemongrass holds the same purpose as the sage. Yes, it does. It does. It really, because it's the intention you're putting into it, Lynn. Okay? So if you're putting in the intention that it's going to cleanse your house, then it certainly would. Does that make sense? Oh, thank you. Thanks for doing that. You can share this live stream, and they may want to learn how to sage. And if you subscribe and like I said, hit the notification button, and then you'll be notified whenever I come on. And I love doing what I do, and it's a wonderful community. So hold on one second. I just want to plug this in. Hold on one second here. There you go. I don't want to lose you before we're at the end here. Yes, thanks. Okay, great. Now, do you guys want to ask some questions? Do you have a question that's coming out? We're 2 weeks away, and I don't take sides. I always read fairly for either side. I already voted, so as far as I'm concerned, the election's over for me. I already voted early voting, but I'm happy to take some of my tarot cards and answer some questions now if people have some questions. Like I said, I've had a lot of people that have asked about, and Angelita, I'll be notified when you hit the subscribe button and the notification button, and I can answer any questions that you have, okay? Just so you know. I'm glad you found me. It's listed under Lisa Ashton Psychic Medium, this YouTube channel. Or you can see it down below. So I'm shuffling the cards. You voted today. I know. No questions? Hi, Jen. Nice to have you here. Jen, I think you're new to our channel. I just spent about 45 minutes talking about how to sage your home, how to cleanse the energy, the negative energy that's in your home. So at some point you may want to go back and listen I'm glad you're here. Welcome to our community. Definitely hit the subscribe button, which is down below, and hit the notification button, the bell that's next to it. And that way, whenever I come on live like this, you'll be notified. So you can join us if you'd like. It's a nice community. And if you don't, I'll be notified when you sign up and hit the notification button, Angelita and Jen. So thank you. Down below, you can find my website. It's listed down below, northernlights.one. And I do private readings, tarot card, angel card, psychic, mediumship. And I do come on during the week and do some mediumship readings where I bring your loved ones through to bring through messages. So, oh, that's great. And encourage all to hit the bell. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Angelita. And so I come on and bring messages of love, which I really enjoy. That's my favorite thing to do, I think, out of all the psychic abilities I have, is that I love to use my mediumship and bring through messages of love. I feel that brings the most comfort to people. Dawn says, I have never dealt with entities in homes, but you can feel the energies, the room home. Absolutely. So if a couple once had a disagreement in a particular room, you can tell. Absolutely. And I find that when I walk in a room, if all of a sudden I'm walking in and the sage is like burning, so there's so much smoke coming out of it, that tells me that that room just needs a little extra love. It needs a little extra sage in that room. So I walk around it a few times because, like you said, it could have been a place of a disagreement, or there could have been a really negative person that stayed overnight, that kind of thing. So you always just go with your gut on that and what you feel. Dawn, that's totally right. So how about questions, you guys? Questions about the race, questions about Trump's health. You just cleansed your room this weekend with an egg. That's interesting. How do you do that with an egg, Jen? You'll have to fill me in if you don't want to describe it here. It's really by intention, so it's the intention you put out there, not necessarily what you use, right? I mentioned these two, the Palo Santo and the white sage today with the roses on it, because that's what I use when I go in ceremony. I use a Native American way of doing things with salt, and I put black tourmaline, little pieces, chips of black tourmaline over all the doors and the windows. And that's a protection aid when I leave the house. But I don't work with entities either, Dawn, and some people do. And so when I get calls on it, I refer them out. I don't like to work with entities, but I do work with negative energy, certainly, from my own home as well as everyone else's. Anybody who needs that. Hubby and I voted blue and took our ballots directly to. Good for you. I actually voted in person at the town hall here in my own town. So I think I personally think it's perfectly safe to vote any way you decide you want to vote this year. So if you vote by mail-in ballot, great. If you vote in person, great. I just say vote, please. Everyone, please get out and vote. Republican or Democrats. Jen, egg cleanse is basically when you take an egg and absorb all the negative energy, then I crack it inside a cup and see how the egg looks. Certain images pop up. Oh, interesting. It's almost like you're reading tea leaves in a way, if you're seeing the images in the egg. Is that right? That's very cool, Jen. Thanks for sharing that with us. I had never heard of using an egg, but I have heard of using an egg over a flame to be able to see what's inside, but I really like that as a way. Well, I have an energy. I have a question, so I'm going to ask it of the cards, because I still feel that Trump is ill. I feel like when he gets off stage that he is still getting oxygen. I feel like he is scrying. Jen, we used to teach a course, one of our practitioners, on scrying, and I think it's an awesome way to see into the future, to see what is coming forward. So I love scrying. We've always taught it using a mirror. Is that how you use it? And scrying, for anybody who doesn't know, is well, you can describe the way you do it, Jen, if you want, with the wax. because we use crystals. Use it with a candle and water. And so you hold it over the water to scry and to be able to see what's coming as the candle and the wax diffuse into the water. It's another technique that's used. Yeah, I let the wax drip down the water. Yeah, it's another technique, scrying, that light workers use to be able to see what it shows, and it shows the images, so you get a good feel. So it's kind of like tea leaves. It sounds like you're doing a lot of energy work that's like tea leaves. So what I was going to say is I think that Trump still is ill. I don't think he's out of the woods yet, and that concerns me coming into the final 2 weeks. I'm concerned for his health, and I'm not a Trump supporter, but I am concerned for anyone who had COVID, and he certainly had it. I think he still is ill, and that concerns me. And I wanted to pull a couple of cards on it, so I am going to do that. And you guys can also write your ideas down. I'm just going to pull 3 cards and see what I get. Okay, so the first card I have is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands really is about a choice, and he is definitely making a choice. He's not choosing his health at this point, I'm hearing. He's choosing to move forward with the election. That's the most important thing. Jen, hold on a second. I'll answer your question as soon as I finish this, okay? And that's what he's doing. You can see that the light is right down the middle, but he has these 2 wands where he has to make a choice which direction he's going to go, around this way or he's going to go around this way. And I think that's what Trump is having to do at this point. He's having to make a decision to put his health on hold in order to try to put his best foot forward for the rest of the election. So I think that's what he's doing. The Page of Wands here, and the wands are all about moving forward, building, and that's what he's trying to do. He's at a standstill right now, though. You notice he literally is standing still. It's not like he's walking, but he's literally standing still and not knowing which direction to go in. And unfortunately, I think he's getting himself into a little bit of hot water in the last couple of days, which is a shame. I really want it to be a fair election. I really want everybody to get out there and vote. And so that's why I'm saying get out, definitely, and vote. And the final card is Strength upside down. So that just tells me that he's not as strong as he's appearing to be. I think he's really letting us all believe that he's feeling great and he's feeling strong. And I know I saw him yesterday for part of the Nevada, when he had his speech in Nevada, and there were only a couple of hundred people, and he didn't look well to me. So I am concerned about him. And these cards are kind of backing me up and telling me that he's not as strong, because it was in reverse. So he's not as strong as he's letting on he is at this point. Okay, if you guys have questions about anything, about the election, about anything coming up, I'm happy to answer. Angelina says, that deck, it is a beautiful deck. Let me get the cover here. It's called the Gilded Tarot Royale, which I love. You can't see it. It's backwards, I know. Sorry about that. And whenever it's live, it's backwards. But the cards themselves are gorgeous. And I love to use them. And I think Dawn just bought them as well, and she's using them. For those of you that are just joining me, at the beginning of the video, I spent about 45 minutes going through how to sage using Palo Santo or using white sage, how to completely cleanse your house, how to empty the negative energy, and how to bring in positive energy based on the intention. So if you're just joining us, please, when we're all done, take some time to go back and listen, because it has some great ideas. I've been promising for a while that I would show you guys how to do that. So I think you'll learn a lot. For those of you that are just joining and haven't subscribed, please do so below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button next to it. Every day I do a recorded reading for every sign every day. And then I do weekly readings for each of the elements that have all the signs in it, like air signs are Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, or signs are Virgo, Capricorn, et cetera, Taurus. And then I do monthly readings for each individual sign. I also come on many times a week, 2 or 3 times at least, and do these kinds of things where I'm teaching, or I am talking about what I'm going to offer, or I do have one big reading that usually is it's like 2 or 3 hours by the time we have everybody on here, because I bring through messages with mediumship. I've been doing mediumship they are great cards, Dawn. They speak to you, don't they? So I've been doing mediumship readings I'm a 3rd generation psychic medium, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and I've been doing mediumship readings for over 35 years, and I love it. It's my favorite part of what I do, of being a light worker, because I feel like it really brings the most love through. Please do subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know when to come on, and I love it. And Jen, you asked a question. What are the tea leaves and how can I use them? I would Google it a lot. It's again a Native American. It's also Chinese ceremony, and it's actually putting tea, fresh leaves of tea in a cup, drinking the tea, or drinking the water from the tea, and whatever is left, if it's in patterns, you can learn how to read them, which is really neat. And that's another Native American, and you use a lot of Mexican Americans, so you may want to look it up and see if they have their own custom way of reading tea leaves. But there are a lot of ways and methods out there that people use. I don't happen to read tea leaves. That's not one of my strengths. I tend to do tarot readings. I do angel card readings, psychic and mediumship readings. I do them on here every day on the channel. And if you can share it out to your friends, great. Thank you. And give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. Leave me a comment down below too. Tell me where you're from, a little bit about yourself. I love getting to know people, and especially new people that are becoming part of the community. Because then when they come on, I know a little bit about them and where we've been and the direction we're heading in. Amanda loves them too. Yeah, they read very easily, Dawn, and they really speak to me. So I am doing... if anyone has a question about the election, about any of the candidates, about Barr, or about anything that's coming up, I told myself that I would do readings today, specifically on the election itself, which I never do because I try to stay middle of the road. I try not to be biased when it comes to that. I just want everyone to get out and vote and keep it as legitimate as possible, keep our democracy in place. Questions? Dawn, do you have a question? And if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe and the notification button down below, and you'll be notified whenever I come on, and you can hear whatever I happen to be talking about. And next week, I'm planning on coming on and talking about how to get in touch and learn how to get in touch with your guardian angels. And I think a lot of people want to learn how to do that. Okay, and so next week, that's my plan for teaching, is to come on and do that. There's also my website listed down below, which is northernlights.one, and on there it lists everything that I offer personally, and you can call me or email me to set up any personal readings at your convenience. And there's also donations of love, which is, if someone would like to donate, it goes through PayPal. It helps me buy new equipment for the channel. It helps me buy new cards, which these cards I just bought, the ones you happen to really like, which I love. And it helps me buy the Palo Santo and all the things that help me keep the channel running smoothly so that you guys get to enjoy that. So thank you for those that have already donated. I'm very grateful, and continue to do so moving forward. I really appreciate your help. Thank you. No questions from anybody. Don't be shy. I'm happy to pull cards for any questions. What do you think, guys? No questions? Political question? If you want, or it can be a regular question too. A lot of people have been emailing me that they had political questions they wanted me to read on, and I don't usually do that, so I thought while I was on today, I would definitely answer political questions. I can't predict who's going to win, just so you know, if anybody wants to ask me that question. But I can talk about what's happening in the political game a little bit and pull some cards on something, or I can pull cards on anything else that you would like. And I am going to end with a little bit of Reiki today if you stay around. A little bit of Reiki healing. I'll be sending out some healing energy. I think the world really needs it today, and I think that everybody really needs some Reiki healing. So I will be ending on that note. Jen, how can I get more connected with your astral body? How can I astral project? Okay, appreciate all that you give to us. You're so welcome, Joyce. My pleasure. I love doing it. Jen, that's a really good question. Connected with the astral body. You know, are you talking about like traveling, astral traveling at night? Is that specifically what you're asking about? Yes. Okay, so that really is the first thing you're going to really learn about is lucid dreaming. And if I were you, I would get a book or take a book out of the library on lucid dreaming and what it means and how to get in and out of your own dreams. So you get used to being in control. So in other words, like if I get up, I'm in the middle of a really nice dream and I get up and I go to the bathroom during the night. If I come back to bed, I can usually put myself back into that same dream if I enjoyed it. I can even do it the next night. Because I've learned how to do that. And that's called lucid dreaming, where you're in control. If I'm in the middle of a dream and I don't like what's happening, I can say, Lisa, just wake yourself up. And I do. I wake myself up and I get out of the dream because I'm not enjoying it. But there is lots of different ways to do that, and you can train yourself. It's like training a muscle. Okay, Jen? And the more you, Jenny, I'm sorry, I've been calling you Jen. Jenny. So you've done that before. Okay, cool. So then the next step, the astro traveling, I always find that I can't astro travel by myself. I usually have a loved one that's crossed over that brings me to astro travel. But you can read books on, I'm sure, how to strengthen that muscle if you want to. Thanks, Jenny. But you can definitely read books on how to do that. Okay, so I've over 35 years, I mean, I am a work in progress. I learn something new every day. Like today, you want to hear something really funny that I learned? You know, on the milk bottles, the big gallon milk bottles, the plastic ones that you put in your fridge, there's a little circle that's indented that goes into the bottle. And I always feel like, not that I ever paid attention to it, but today I learned that when that pops out, it means that the milk is no longer good. So see, even if it's not about psychically, I am learning something every day. Dawn says super protection of white light when astral traveling. Yeah, you're moving between planes and can have things attach. Absolutely. So before you go to bed, you would do that probably. It says there are unrest either way after the election. There will be anything we need to prepare for. Well, I've been talking a lot about this, and you may want to go back to some of my videos over the past week because I've been doing a lot astrologically to kind of tell us what's out there because Mercury's in retrograde right now. Mercury's conjunct Uranus, which is a very angry place for Mercury to be. Mars is in Aries retrograde, which is a very angry, unrestful, rage, all the fires, all the hurricanes, everything that's coming through Mother Earth. It's all because of the energy that's around us. Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter are all coming out of their retrogrades now, and they're going direct in Capricorn. And that tends to be, they haven't done that in about 30 years where they've all come out and been so close together degree-wise. And yeah, see, now you learned something new, Jenny. So the unrest between now and the end of the year, really until the winter solstice. In November, we have an eclipse coming up, and eclipses really aren't a one and done. Eclipses always tell a complete story, and we always have 2 sets a year. We usually have one in June and July, and we have one in November or December. And they always are kind of an ongoing story, and we're already starting to feel the effects. And this particular first eclipse in November is in Scorpio, which is not necessarily an angry energy, but it's an energy that hides things we're not aware of. So a lot of truths that we're not aware of will become known to us starting after the 13th of November through the end of the year. So really the energy through the end of the year is a little chaotic. So I've been telling people to kind of stay in your own lane is the best way to do it. Don't react if someone wants to involve you in a fight or something like that. Try not to react at all. Try to really stay in your own lane and mind your own business, basically, is what I'm doing. I told the story a couple of times, but I was in a park. I had just pulled into a parking lot. There were probably 15 empty spaces around me, and I pulled into this one space, and this lady came over and knocking on my window, and she was really angry. And you parked in the space I wanted to, and I kind of looked around, and there were like 15 extra empty spaces, so I was a little bit confused. And rather than engage with her and say, look at all these empty spaces, you could have parked anywhere, because that would have kept the negative energy going, right? I didn't want to lower my own vibration. So basically what I said was, I hope your day gets better. I hope you have a good day. And she wasn't happy, but she didn't know how to respond to that. Right? She just walked away and got in her car, and that was the end of it. So that's the kind of energy that I would recommend to everyone, so they don't put themselves out there, and don't open themselves up to that negative energy. Okay? Because there's a lot of it, a lot of chaotic, angry energy that's out there through now. This is a peak week. The week after the election is a very peak week. When that is happening, the reason it's a peak week this week is because Mars is in conjunction with Uranus, and makes it very peak energy-wise, negative energy. Uranus is all about the things that happen very quickly, suddenly, things we're not expecting. And with it being Mars, sometimes it can be negative. If you're aware of it, though, and now all of you guys are aware of it because you're on here and you're learning about it, it's easy to stay away from. Mercury retrograde, right? Miscommunication. Things can go wrong with your computer, or emails, or you send the text to the wrong person by mistake. Travel can be difficult, so you want to be careful when you're driving, right? Just put an extra set of eyes on the road and watch everybody around you. So if you know all these things can happen, don't sign a contract, because a lot of things can go wrong. If you do need to sign a contract, just read all the fine print 2 or 3 times to make sure it's exactly the way you want it to be. So you can prepare yourself for all this unrest or all this chaos. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to engage or activate it. Okay. And Jen, I hope that Joyce, I hope that answered your question a little bit, because there is going to be unrest no matter how you cut it, no matter what happens with the election. I happen to be very worried about that, to be honest. I think, especially if Donald Trump loses, I think we're going to see a lot of things that he can do, that it's called the lame duck period, between if there's a president in office that loses, between November and January 20th, when it's time to induct the new or bring in the new president. And there are a lot of things that can happen, and that worries me. He always has his finger on the red button, right? We have to remember that. So as light workers and as people here who, you wouldn't have come here and joined this chat if you weren't a light worker. You found me because you have that same empathy, you have that same sensitiveness, you have that same ability to be a light worker and to do your work and to spread light around the earth. And those of us that have that ability, it's really important right now to stay in that higher vibration. Okay, because so much of the earth is in that low, or so much of the planet is in that low vibration, especially in the government. And you don't want to get involved with it if you can help it. The more we can put out that white light energy, the better it is for everybody on the collective. Okay, I hope that makes sense and that wasn't too involved, Joyce. Does anybody else have another question or want a card drawn? Dawn, how about you? Questions? Thank you. You're so welcome, Jenny. I hope you subscribed and hit the notification bell down below, so you'll be back to join us again. I love the energy that you brought in, and I'm sure you can teach us things as we go as well. Your idea and your ceremony about the egg was fascinating, so thank you for sharing that with us. Anybody else have any other questions? If not, I'm going to find some Reiki music and leave us with some healing Reiki energy, which, like I said, I think is so important. Is to always have that, that Reiki, open our chakras, open our crown chakra, let in the light. So I'm going to pull some of that up. Okay.
Welcome back, Main Street. Rooter.
All righty. Okay, so now I'm going to talk you through this as I bring through the Reiki, the healing energy for Reiki. Hold on one second here. There we go. Okay, so we're going to open our crown chakra, which is the chakra on the top of our head. I'm going to open it like petals of a flower, okay? You're so welcome, Angelita. I'm glad you subscribed and you hit the notification bell, so you'll be back as part of our community all the time. It's definitely safe for the Reiki and have some wonderful white light energy sent to you. So open your crown chakra kind of like a flower and allow a beam of white light to come in. It's going to fill your head and your third eye. Fill your throat chakra, down each arm. Fill your chest and your heart chakra, higher and lower. Fill your solar plexus and your sacral chakra and your root chakra, going down each leg, out into the earth. And you can also picture yourself surrounded by white light energy, right? You can ask one of the archangels to bring in some white light energy and kind of outline yourself with white light energy to protect yourself. Bubble yourself. You can put bubble wrap around yourself or cotton or whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable. But that's what we're doing right now. So not only opening your chakras, because when your chakras are open and talking to each other, it keeps you stronger, builds your immune system, helps you feel better, helps you stay in white light energy, right? Okay, so enjoy. I always end every ceremony or every discussion with Reiki healing, even every live reading. And every reading every day ends with Reiki, even if it's not live. 5 minutes of healing your Reiki energy at the end to help you on your day. Thank you, Joyce. Lower the volume. Is that better? I was just talking about opening your chakras, helping this to release, helping to connect all your chakras. Hopefully that's better. Is the music better now so you can hear me? So right now your entire body inside is all filled with this white light energy. Might look smoky, like it's moving around. You can make it solid, whatever you would like. And the outside is surrounded, bubbled up, and protected with white light energy. You can just put it on there yourself and imagine it, or you can ask an archangel to come in and help you. Next week we're going to learn about who our angel guides are. So I hope you all hit the notification bell and subscribe so you'll be notified when we come on to do that. If you missed the beginning of this video, we learned how to sage, how to cleanse a room, and how to bring positive energy back into a room after clearing out negative energy. So it might be worth it to go back and listen. It's a wonderful community that we're building here, and I'm really grateful to all of you for being here. Thank you for joining me today. I'll continue to be sending Reiki healing energy this evening and sending it out into the world like I do every night. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Watch for your daily readings tomorrow. You're so welcome, Joyce. Thank you for the suggestion. So glad, Jenny, that you came on board, and that you, I'll get notified when you definitely hit the subscribe and the notification bell. And Dawn, thank you for all your help, as always. Lynn, if you're still here, I'm grateful to all of you for being here today, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will see you soon. Take care.